As dawn stretched gently over fields of grain and patches of forest, medieval villages woke not to trumpets or castle bells, but to the steady rhythms of animals stirring, tools being lifted, and families preparing for another day shaped by land, season, and shared expectation. A village rarely felt accidental because homes clustered near water, arable land, and paths that connected fields, church, and market, forming a living pattern that balanced survival with cooperation. Most houses were built from wood, mud, and straw, materials close at hand, which meant villages blended naturally into their surroundings rather than standing apart from them. Roofs of thatch required constant care, reminding families that shelter depended on maintenance as much as construction. Inside these modest homes, multiple generations often shared space, weaving family life tightly through shared work, conversation, and responsibility. Furniture remained simple because daily effort focused on production rather than decoration, though small objects still carried meaning. Fireplaces formed the heart of each home, providing warmth, light, and a place where stories and skills passed quietly between generations. Villagers organized their lives around farming, since grain, vegetables, and animals determined survival more strongly than politics or distant rulers. Fields were divided into strips, encouraging cooperation rather than isolation because shared labor allowed entire communities to succeed or fail together. Plowing, sowing, and harvesting followed seasonal rhythms learned through experience rather than written instruction. Weather shaped fortune unpredictably, teaching humility and patience year after year. Livestock played essential roles, offering food, labor, and materials, while also demanding daily care that tied families closely to routine. Chickens scratched near doorways, pigs foraged freely, and cattle marked wealth through both usefulness and presence. Children learn early by watching and helping, gradually absorbing skills that school books could not teach. Play blended seamlessly with work because curiosity and responsibility grew side by side. Village life depended on cooperation since planting, building, and repair often required many hands moving together. Neighbors shared tools, labor, and information, knowing that isolation increased risk rather than freedom. This interdependence shaped strong social bonds, reinforced by custom and shared memory. The village church stood as a central point not only for worship but for gathering, celebration, and timekeeping. Church bells marked hours, feast days, and emergencies, creating a shared rhythm that synchronized lives. Religious festivals provided color and meaning, breaking routine with processions, music, and communal meals. Belief influenced behavior deeply, offering explanations for hardship while encouraging hope and moral structure. Priests served as spiritual guides and practical leaders, advising families while interpreting tradition. Markets brought excitement into village routine, transforming open spaces into lively scenes of exchange and conversation. Goods traded locally included grain, cloth, tools, and preserved food, while occasional foreign items sparked curiosity. Barter remained common since money circulated unevenly. News traveled through travelers, merchants, and word of mouth, spreading slowly but carrying weight. Stories passed alongside information, blending fact and imagination into shared understanding. Village justice relied on custom and mediation, addressing disputes through discussion rather than formal courts. Elders and respected members often guided decisions. Reputation mattered greatly since trust determined cooperation. Work occupied most daylight hours, shaping strong bodies and practical intelligence. Tools were valued possessions, repaired repeatedly rather than replaced. Blacksmiths, millers, and carpenters held respected positions since their skills supported everyone. The village mill became a hub of activity where grain turned into flour and conversation flowed freely. Water sources shaped daily movement since wells and streams served households, animals, and crafts alike. Cleanliness depended on habit rather than technology, encouraging practical solutions. Disease and injury remained constant threats, shaping careful behavior and reliance on community care. Herbal knowledge passed quietly through experience, blending observation with belief. Meals reflected seasonal availability, combining grains, vegetables, and occasional meat. Sharing food reinforced bonds during hardship. Clothing showed practicality over fashion, though color and small details expressed personality. Festivals allowed creativity to surface, temporarily reshaping daily roles. Music emerged through simple instruments and voices, carrying memory rather than novelty. Village celebrations marked births, marriages, and seasonal changes. Marriage connected families and resources, strengthening networks. Gender roles shaped work distribution, though flexibility existed when necessity demanded. Women managed households, fields, and trades alongside men. Children represented labor and legacy. Aging villagers held wisdom valued through experience. Land defined identity, anchoring families across generations. Fields remembered effort even when people changed. Paths between homes became shared spaces. Animals, tools, and crops tied village life together. Although villages appeared quiet from afar, they held complexity beneath routine. Every action supported survival. Every relationship carried consequence. Time moved slowly yet steadily. Change arrived gradually rather than dramatically. Villagers understood patience better than haste. They lived close to nature's limits. Through cooperation and habit, medieval villages sustained societies larger than themselves. Their quiet persistence formed the foundation upon which castles, kingdoms, and cultures depended, ensuring that history grew not only through kings and wars, but through everyday lives shaped by shared labor, belief, and enduring connection to the land. As years passed within the steady rhythm of village life, people came to understand time not as numbers on a page, but as cycles of planting, waiting, harvesting, and preparing again, which shaped patience and long memory more strongly than ambition. Village calendars followed nature closely because daylight length, rainfall, and temperature mattered more than dates written by distant authorities. Winter narrowed movement and choice, forcing families indoors where repair, storytelling, and planning replaced field work. Spring returned hope gradually, reopening soil, paths, and expectations at the same pace. Summer demanded endurance since long hours in the fields tested strength and cooperation. Autumn brought urgency, gathering food before cold erased opportunity. Through these cycles, villagers learned flexibility because survival depended on adapting rather than resisting change. Community decisions reflected this understanding, balancing tradition with necessity. Meetings often happened informally, where problems were discussed during work or after shared meals. Leadership emerged from reliability rather than title alone. Trusted individuals gained influence by consistency over time. Conflict occurred, but resolution mattered more than victory. Arguments over land, animals, or labor were common because resources were limited. Mediation restored harmony more effectively than punishment. Shame and reputation shaped behavior as strongly as rules. Gossip acted as social glue and warning system. Privacy remained limited, reinforcing accountability. Village boundaries defined safety, but curiosity extended beyond them. Travel remained rare, yet memorable. Journeys to nearby towns felt significant, bringing new sights, accents, and ideas. Returning travelers carried stories that expanded imagination. Occasional fairs connected villages regionally. Craft specialization slowly increased as skills passed through families. Wool processing, weaving, and leatherwork provided supplemental income. Seasonal surplus allowed limited trade. Markets shaped awareness of value. Money remained secondary to trust. Faith continued guiding choices, offering meaning during hardship. Religious observance structured weeks with rest and reflection. Church gatherings strengthened shared identity. Moral lessons traveled through sermons and stories. Education remained informal, yet learning thrived through observation. Children memorized tasks through repetition. Songs taught rhythm and cooperation. Games encouraged physical coordination. Folk tales explained danger and responsibility. Animals shared daily spaces, shaping caution and care. Accidents taught respect for tools and strength. Villagers understood risk intuitively. Illness tested community solidarity. Care for the sick relied on shared effort. Grief unfolded publicly, births brought renewed energy. Life events were communal rather than private, marriage celebrations united households. Funerals reinforced continuity, aging shifted roles gradually, elders advised rather than commanded. Their presence anchored memory, village landscapes evolved slowly. Homes expanded as families grew, paths widened through use. Fields changed ownership carefully. Trees marked history silently, tools improved incrementally. Techniques passed without written manuals, mistakes became lessons. Villagers valued practicality over novelty. Innovation arose when needed. Despite hardship, humor persisted. Jokes softened labor, nicknames reflected personality. Music accompanied work, joy emerged through simplicity. Evenings offered calm reflection, stars guided seasonal awareness. Firelight framed conversations, silence held comfort. Village life rarely produced heroes, yet it produced stability. Its strength lay in repetition rather than spectacle. Through countless ordinary days, medieval villages carried societies forward, proving that history depends not only on crowns and battles, but on quiet communities that endured, adapted, and kept the world fed, grounded, and human.